back to our interview with Tracy Rath, who's running for District 2 City Council seat. And we will wrap up our interview today. Tracy, just a few last questions, if you can bear with us. If you were to win, again, the city's District 2 seat on council, how would you prioritize the initiatives that you feel are important? I know, let me clarify that question. I can't talk today. Let me clarify that question a little bit more. Council has their strategic planning session every year, and they decide to focus on certain initiatives for each year and prioritize those initiatives. So you said communication is very important to you. And if that were maybe your number one initiative, what else would you have on that list, and how would that play out?
Well, I think certainly we need to listen to the citizens. I know from sitting at council meetings, it's kind of intimidating to people. You may have a good group show up if they have a specific agenda item, but along with better communication to the citizens about what's going on, let's talk to them. Let's do some town hall meetings. I mean, certainly Councilman Ushery and Mayor Lockmiller do that. I'm a member of the McKinney Historic Neighborhood Association, and I've had the opportunity to see those happen in that forum. But I really don't see that anywhere else. And I think it's important. And I think it's important to us to communicate to our citizens why we're making the decisions we're making and how that affects them. So much business is handled in executive session, and we as the residents don't know what's being discussed. So let's explain why the decisions are being made the way they are.
Okay, so that being said, you get input from citizens about 10 different initiatives. There must be something that you feel as a leader of our community that you would really want to push forward, that you think is very important to our community and its progress. Can you list those things? And my next question may help a little bit about, because one thing I was thinking about was we have the Gateway project. As you know, that the bankruptcy has now been settled, and so we're moving forward a little bit on that, which is the convention center hotel project. So is that a priority to you? Is that important? Is economic development? How do you see those things fitting into your platform?
Certainly from an MCDC perspective, again, I've been involved in that progress of the convention center and certainly the settling of the lawsuit. So I've been involved in the front end with that, awaiting council to determine. Right now, we're looking forward to getting the consultant recommendation. Right. I don't see how we can move forward on a project when we don't know what ultimately the scope of that's going to look like. Certainly a lot of questions for all of us will be answered, and I'll look forward to council sharing that with MCDC and EDC and doing that in a public meeting so that the community can hear what the update is with that. Certainly, I think that's important. But until we know what the recommendations are, we can't make a decision. Obviously, we've got to increase our commercial tax base. It's something that you hear every election year, but how are we going to do it? We need to be proactive. We need to work more closely with our EDC and with our other citizens, as I mentioned earlier, and solicit their input. They know best about what opportunities are available out there, and we need to make it a more inclusive way. We have to be more inclusive with doing business.
More inclusive with what regard? Are you talking about, I'm not quite clear on.
I'm talking about more inclusive with listening to other people when they say, hey, I work for this company X here. If that happens, if my husband is in Germany and they decide they want to open a plant in McKinney, what is the process for doing that? Do our citizens know how to do that? I mean, I don't think they do. Who do they call? What type of follow-up would there be? What type of information is available? I think that we've missed the boat in that while council put 7 people on the Economic Development Board, they can't represent 130 plus thousand people. So let's get our residents involved as much as possible and increase our commercial tax base, lessen the burden on the residents. I mean, it's something that at every election time we hear a lot about, but not really a lot happens.
Okay. In this current difficult economic climate, and we keep hoping things are getting better, obviously, cities throughout the country, we hear every day on the news how cities are struggling to pay their fire, police, trash collection, the whole gamut of city services. We also hear from our residents that our taxes are already very high. Of course, our property taxes are high. If citizens are reluctant to accept a tax increase, how would you go about meeting the needs of our residents? And ironically, we are the number 5, or have been chosen by Money Magazine as the 5th best place to live in the country. With that brings lots more people to our city, which also puts a larger demand, heavier demand on our infrastructure. So all those things are tied together. How would you address that?
Well, I think you address it by starting at City Hall. Certainly the city employees know where there could be efficiencies within their department. From a police and fire perspective, I hear frustrations. You have incredible employees who are frustrated because their caseload, from a detective perspective, are high. They're frustrated. They can't provide the quality of services to residents that they want. Maybe we need to look at things differently from different efficiencies. We've got whole departments that it might be more beneficial, and certainly cost savings, to look at outsourcing some of those things. So I think everything should be on the table. And if it means going through every budget line item, line item by line item, then that's what we need to do.
So, we've heard a lot about your thoughts on your campaign and what your platform stands for. Tell us something that we don't know about Tracy Rath that no one else knows.
I mean, I'm an open book. I'm on Facebook. Ask me a question, I'll tell you the answer. I think most people would say she's very open and honest, and she'll tell you whatever.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, I don't have an all-time favorite book. I'll tell you now that through my book club I'm reading Let the Great World Spin, Decision Points, and I've got a couple of others. I go between really serious kind of self-help, organizational, how to build a great nonprofit books to total fluff beach reads. So I read a lot. My husband got me a Nook for my birthday, and so that's really opened up a whole world of being able to download lots, and I have four different books going right now.
Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thanks.
I really appreciate all that you've had to share with our readers, and good luck with your campaign.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us with our interview with Tracy Rath. Please join us again. We have other interviews that are coming up in the very near future. We'd love to keep this discussion going and hear your comments. What do you think is important to our city as we grow? So check back on Town Square Buzz, leave your comments, or go to our Facebook page and search Town Square Buzz and comment there.